lovely day! Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there's a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link below this video. So if you'd like to join the show, click the link that's also below this video, but please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by the Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Jose, Adam, Flat Earth Ginger, Eric, Earth Flattener, Arwin and Alan. Good to have you all.
Yo, guten Tag. Yo.
Aloha.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Any signs of curvature, gentlemen? Let's get straight into housekeeping.
At the beginning of the last show, Arwin apologised to his subs.
More important than housekeeping.
Is that the full extent of your apology there, Arwin, for kicking me
Yes, it
yesterday?
is.
Do you not feel the need just to like apologise for kicking a friendly?
I think you should.
You're not afraid.
It's like the third time you've done it to him,
People
Arwin.
that act that
There's
way
no
are
need.
not friendlies.
Not friendly.
So no apology for kicking me then?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. No problem.
That's the crappiest apology I've ever heard.
Where was it?
Yeah,
hold on.
I'm sorry for kicking you. Yeah.
Apology
Excellent.
accepted. I'm
Move
not
on.
your enemy.
Excellent. You are your
Well,
friendlies.
that's
This is a good conversation.
relative.
Even Adam said it to you. It's a good debate, and it's win-win for Flat Earth. So, you know, keep up the great work. Don't lose temper with each other. There's no need. Anyway, any signs of curvature?
No.
Anybody for anybody?
Yeah.
Not on the Earth.
Anybody? Earth-based curvature? No? No? Any signs of
I saw
axial
some
rotation?
really good curvature walking.
They going Owen?
I saw some very good curvature walking by.
Always of the Earth-based
yeah.
variety. Any signs of axial
Oh.
rotation? Anybody?
Right.
Anybody at all?
None of that. No Earth-based curvature.
Alan? No Earth-based axial rotation you can tell us about?
I think
I'll
Arwin's
tell you
got
no.
one.
Yeah.
No? What about gas pressure without a container? Any signs of that being
No.
demonstrated?
Never.
No.
Self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of presupposed spherical Earth? Any signs of that?
No.
Nada.
Yeah. Nah. Nah, if you ask the
No.
next question, it's refuted. So.
Scientific evidence of gravity?
Oh, that's not the question I was asking for, but not yet.
I know.
Very funny. Very funny.
What about that scientific evidence of gravity though, Arwin? Any of that?
Working on it.
So would that
Fair
be
enough.
no?
Good answer. What about the distance to the sun?
There is no,
Sorry,
there
Arwin?
is no distance to the sun. Ta-dum.
Ta-dum. Last but
Or
not
maybe
least.
ta-da.
Somebody's measured it with a tape measure. I'm certain must have with all the technology.
Yeah, I like that.
Must have.
Yeah, I like those 93 million mile tape measures. They're wicked.
Yeah. Awesome.
Last but not least, any signs of Earth radius? Scientific evidence or otherwise? Ah, gentlemen.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I may have found some evidence.
Of ah?
Yeah, hold on.
Here
Let
we
me
go.
present it.
Hold on.
I'll present it. Hold on. It needs to.
Sounds like a jape. I can just feel it coming. What are we going to get?
I got something after Arwin is done.
Can you see this?
Let's have a look. I can't. It's too small. It's not rude, is it?
No.
The Wizard of R.
Yeah.
Who we got in there then? Who's who? I can't see.
You, Riley, me, and Ranty.
So Ranty's the lion. You're
Yeah.
Dorothy.
Yeah.
Anthony's the Scarecrow, and I'm the Tin Man.
Yeah.
So I've forgotten now. You have to remind me what the traits are. So Tin Man's got no heart, right? And Straw Man's got no courage. No, that's the lion. What's the?
He's got no brain, and he's
got no
straw man.
brain. Oh dear. But Dorothy's got no penis, Arwin. So I think that's
right.
better.
I'm a little girl sometimes. I know.
So what's Dorothy's
I'm a curious
character
little
trait?
girl, and yeah, I'm learning this
Oh, well, fair
world
enough.
that's not actually real, just in my imagination. And I'm the one gonna walk out of there eventually in the real world.
Which is worse? Obviously not for a woman, but for you specifically. No penis or no brain. Which would you go with?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd rather have no penis than no brain.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Okay,
yeah,
did I hear
Anthony's
R?
Cowardly Lion is kind of a jab, I guess, because he is kind of a courageous guy and he's going all out there. But yeah, he's a little bit too scared to apologize. Let's just say it like that. But that's it. No other. He's definitely not a coward.
Awesome. Who made that? Let me
Yeah,
guess.
what do you think about the R? I edited in there.
Oh, is
like
this yours? Did you
Photoshop.
make this?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it, Arwin.
It's
I thought
pure
it was one of
hand-drawn
Hyena's.
Photoshop.
That's ace. There's a
I
lot
can
of these.
zoom in on it.
Bit like the Three Amigos one done by Hyena.
Yeah, you can see it. Very proud of that. Oh, I also edited in the chemtrails, by the way.
We trust. You got a subliminal R in the chemtrail, did you say?
I heard the argument that crepuscular race and anti-crepuscular race is a proof of R.
Anyway, that's my proof of R for today.
Awesome. Sorry, we got a new one. Something's come to the table. I can never say this word. Crepuscular.
Crepuscular, yeah, and I can't even speak
Crepuscular
English, and I think I
rays.
say better than you.
Crepuscular?
ways.
Crepuscular.
They
Crepuscular.
Yeah, I
are
took a
they?
video yesterday morning when I was getting off work. It was right before the sunset, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes before. And I seen the crepuscular rays coming off from the horizon where the sun was about to come out. And I kept looking to the right and I kept following the line. And then the anti-crepuscular rays are setting in the other side, from coming from one side and setting in the other side. I put the video yesterday on my channel. It's pretty cool. I got a little over 100 views. I got a ton of comments telling me this debunks the flat earth and proves the globe. So I'm just putting it out there because it's a little contagious right now, you know.
Let's have a little look. Let's go and go. I've got to admit, I did see the thumbnail. I just didn't have time yesterday to watch it, so I didn't. But I did see your thumbnail with the pretty picture. And
yeah, you can mute it. You can mute it and just take a look. I'm just narrating weird, whatever I'm thinking.
yeah, let's have a goosey. Finding it now. Give me a moment. You're on fire at the moment, Jose, with your videography. You're doing loads.
Yeah, and they say it's perspective what we're seeing because of the sun rays are coming parallel, and it's are coming parallel even though we see them like that in the like going to the convergence point. So I understand the argument, but it's different to wrap my brain around it because we're looking at perspective from a different point of view, looking at perspective taking place in another frame, you know, in another point of view from if you're looking right ahead at it, like a train track. So it's the effect of the train track, but you're looking from a outside frame of reference, if you know what I mean. Understand me?
See if I
I
can
mean, that's their
share
argument.
this, but give me a sec. Let's have a look. Crepuscular
I appreciate it. I
rays.
cannot share on my phone.
You see that?
Yes.
Looking good? Can everyone see
Looking
that?
good.
Just click on my icon if you can't. Certainly pretty.
It is pretty.
Oh, God damn it. Well, we'll leave it on with the whirly whirl. Hopefully we'll get it to play through the whole video. Not looking promising, though.
Oh.
So, Alan.
Tony.
Any signs of axial rotation or curvature?
Hey, Nathan, the playback is stuck.
Yeah, no, I realise that, Arwen.
Never seen that. Is it streamed from YouTube?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it does this. That's why I don't like sharing stuff. When I'm streaming, it just does this. I don't get it. I've got plenty of data. Huge bandwidth. God only knows.
Well, you could just all download it and put it on your own file.
I'm running a show though.
Maybe
Arwen.
even
It's all right. If
play
it
it
doesn't work, it
from
doesn't
your
work.
computer directly and just screen it. Then the internet can never interrupt it then.
I don't want this to turn into a show about the technicalities of how the show runs, though. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Just saying.
I know. I still get screen grabs out of it.
Fascinating viewing.
Come on, YouTube, stop stalling.
It's me that's doing that, Arwen. I'm controlling it.
Right.
That's
Alan, a little bird tells me that you might have been the one that said to Arwen he should apologise to his subs. Is that true?
No.
No?
Are you sure?
No, I'm the one that comes up with apologizing. That's what I do.
I'm surprised he apologised to you, though, Tony.
I'm gobsmacked he didn't.
You're pretty cruel to him.
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm not cruel. I just think that you should have evidence to support your religious views and beliefs.
Yeah, and apparently if you don't, then you have no problem, like, obviously just trying to confuse the bit and constantly deflecting to red herrings.
You know,
Attempts at straw manning constantly, seriously, like a political lawyer, man.
you know
not
he's a
healthy.
theorist.
It's not healthy.
I do know he's a theorist, yeah, but a theorist any theorist I've ever met has never ever asserted something that's like factual and deny and like so strongly fought for it that he becomes a fundamentalist. That's called religious.
I'm not a fundamentalist, you ass.
Yeah, fundamentalist.
I'm not a fundamentalist.
He seemed like a fundamentalist.
He's a
No,
mentalist.
I do not have the symptoms. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you definitely have the.
Oh yeah,
fundamentalist.
really? So name the symptoms that I have that make me a
Intolerance,
Go ahead.
bigoted approaches to stuff that you believe in, lacking in evidence,
You're fun.
aggression.
Oh, that's all very generalized.
You're
I don't
fun
see
and
that
you're mental.
No, but they're the
in
symptoms. You asked me for
concept
the
of
symptoms.
fundamentalism.
Yeah,
You
you're
asked me for
fun
the
and you're
symptoms and I
mental.
gave you them.
Do I kill people if they don't agree with me?
No, I said intolerance, bigotry, aggression.
Bigotry?
Yeah,
Yeah.
having a bigoted approach on stuff.
What? That's not bigotry.
Bigotism, maybe the word.
Bigot?
Come on,
What?
Being
What
bigoted.
is that?
Come on, you're
Maybe
calling it
bipartisan. If you're gonna call it bipartisan, sure. Bigotry, no.
Well, if you're a bigot, you think everybody else's views are less than your own, right?
I don't.
it's just a
only,
Dutch.
I only look at the material itself and base
What
my
material, though? What material do you look at with the gravity?
concept of forces, the knowledge about that,
There are no
and
forces.
the
though.
pressures. And yeah, pressure has to come from somewhere. What causes it?
Yeah, it comes
And
from the
not a
density.
description of an effect, but what actually is the energy drive for these displacements and everything that is part of
Yeah, it's
the
density,
buoyancy
Arwen.
effect.
So it's,
No.
it,
No, that's
just density.
matter. It's matter.
wait,
Matter
wait.
is not inherent to have force.
The energy,
it's very specific.
It's,
the energy comes from I eat spinach, I get strong, I push it down the hill.
It's very specific, Arwen.
Jesus, seriously.
that doesn't work that way.
And actually, it
No,
does.
but any energy you add to it is just gonna change the alignment of density buoyancy ratio, or the alignment
What is this
basically
density buoyancy
at the
ratio of
moment,
which you
and
speak?
causing
Is this a made-up concept?
causing emotion. But yeah, then it's gonna be just left to whatever it is, yet to whatever it's subjected to, and that is the force disequilibrium of the stationary fashion downwards, and eventually its momentum when it goes rolling.
Arwin, what's this density buoyancy ratio of which you speak? Is this a made-up concept, or is this something that is generally understood by everybody in science?
Nah, I misspoke. It's the alignment, not ratio. It's not involved in that particular.
Speak up a little bit.
It was not involved. I misspoke. The rate. It's just the alignment. The ratio is not involved in that particular thing I was trying to describe.
Is it me or is he mumbling?
No. What? Is my volume down or something?
It sounds like you're speaking very quietly.
No, I'm speaking very loudly, and I'm
You are now,
not
but you
even
were-
10 centimeters away from my mic.
Okay. So explain the density buoyancy ratio.
I said to you that I misspoke. I shouldn't have
Is
said
density buoyancy
ratio.
ratio
It was just
phrase that
alignment.
you use?
It was just alignment. The ratio had nothing to do with it.
So what's being aligned?
The ordering of the layers, the ordering of the density layers. In a very
Okay,
specific
I get that.
fashion.
I get that. So
Right.
the cause of the ordering of the layers, you're not satisfied with them
Alignment
being
of
the
it.
density of the liquids in question, right?
The alignment of it.
The alignment.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Not the effect itself, because I know it does what it does, but why is it in a set relation? Why is that?
Because some objects are more
alignment.
dense than others.
Why is it in that alignment?
Because
Why
some
isn't it
objects have got
facing
more
some other
density to
direction?
them than
Like
others.
when, for example, in a car that is accelerating, the alignment will shift suddenly. So why is it fixed in a stationary setting? Why is it just that?
Because
that
some
the
objects
direction?
have got more density to them than others. What's the problem
Yeah,
with that?
but when you're actually applying another force, the alignment's not going to be the same, and suddenly, it's going
But we're
to
not
be
applying another force,
relatively in
though.
a different direction.
We're not applying another force.
Yeah, but that can happen, and you can't
How?
explain.
You need to
why
have a
it
force
does
to
what it
apply.
does at the time.
You need to have a force to apply, don't you? You can't apply something that's not there. It has to either be there to apply or it's not there to
So
apply.
why is it in a stationary fashion aligned the way it is?
Because of the density of the liquids in question.
No, that's a circular argument.
No, that's the reason.
That is a circular argument.
No, it's not. It's the
Yeah,
reason.
it is. Yeah, it is a circular argument.
Your question was why is it in a particular order? And you don't
Why
accept
is it
that it's
in
because
that
of its own
alignment?
density.
Not the order, the alignment. Why that specific direction? That
Wait.
relative direction.
You mean the alignment that the light is on top and then downwards?
Right.
Okay.
Geo-relative.
Right. So it's basically a top-down position, not left-right. We're talking about.
Exactly.
Okay. So
That's where the displacements
How is it-
naturally are directed in.
okay. So how is that a circular argument that they're in a specific order from top to down or bottom up, whichever way you want to start?
Mhm.
How is that a circular argument?
That is not a circular argument. That's my argument.
That's what he said, that they're in that order because of various densities, weights.
No, but that doesn't explain the alignment. That's the thing. It just
But it does,
explains
though.
why the displacement, why it seeks its own level, basically. That's a part of what it does. It doesn't explain the directions.
But it does, though.
No,
the
it doesn't.
bigger the number, the
Well,
bigger the
there's
number, the
only
lower
two
it will
directions
sit.
we're speaking of. We're
It
not
only
speaking
explains
of
the directions in relation to its density, not why it is in that direction. Why that specific?
Because it's
alignment.
relative, Arwin. We've
It's
been through this so many
relative.
times.
No, it's always in one specific line. It's never like in a curve or suddenly with a corner in it. No, it's always one direction. Very
Because
specific.
numbers get bigger as they get bigger, right? It's a function of the size of the density. As the density gets
Size?
bigger, the lower it'll sit. It's very specific.
Arwin.
Yeah, lower, higher, but still, it's specific directions, and it's
Yeah.
never any other direction. It's always
All right.
Because numbers don't go
relative
laterally.
with
Numbers
direction.
either go up or down.
Arwin, have you ever pondered that?
Why up and down?
Wait. I need to
Numbers
ask.
get bigger or smaller.
I think I figured out what Arwin is missing.
Circular argument.
It's not a circular argument.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
a direct
It is a
answer to your
argument.
question, which you then call a straw man.
Circular argument. Sorry, that's what it is.
Arwin,
It's not circular, it's egg-shaped.
have you ever thought about the question, the possibility that there is an objective up and down in the natural world? We could say God created it, the creator, I don't know, the designer, that there's an up and down. Simply as that.
Yeah, I'm the one that actually launched that in here. I call it geo-relative direction.
Oh,
Because
goodness.
that's set.
Okay.
That's not personal. You can't misinterpret that.
Have you ever considered the possibility that there might not be an up or down?
I don't see how.
Yeah, I've considered it. It's ridiculous. Sorry.
So what if what we call up or down isn't actually up or down at all? It's only relative to us.
Yeah, words are only what you ascribe to them. It's very nice.
Well, on a ball, that's what there would be no. There would be
Yeah,
no.
you're describing a globe, right?
Yeah.
In that
Well,
instant.
Well, think about it from like the cherry tomato that's suspended in between a liquid, in between liquids. It's in a liquid of its own, and it's got one that's less dense above it and one that's more dense below it. Do you think the cherry tomato has any concept whatsoever of up and down?
Well, you mean conscious? You mean
That's ridiculous.
Well, do you think it thinks that? Do you think it thinks in terms of up
You
or down?
think that tomatoes think, Riley? You live in the killer tomato world?
But if you're the tomato, do you think that up or down is relevant to you in any way, or do you just see it as?
If I'm the
"Hang on, I
tomato,
shouldn't-
I'm not
I
going to be
shouldn't-
thinking.
I shouldn't be in that thing above me because that's not my place, and that thing below me is not my place either. I'm just in a state of comfortableness.
Yeah, you're in a very weird animistic mood.
Well, I'm just trying to work out why you think that there's an up or down anyway. I don't really see it other than it's a man-made construct to describe.
I'm
what we
wondering
see.
why you think that tomatoes think and conceptualize things. It's very bizarre.
Because you think that this up and down thing is like some like I'm not even sure what you think it is, or you don't realize that it's a term that we use to describe what we're seeing. But it's a concept that we put
There's
into
more
it.
ways of using the words,
Yeah,
Riley.
agree.
There's
I
more
would
ways
say-
of using words than in just one field.
I have to say there is an absolute up and down, and that's part of the globe religion trick, is to make everything relative and moral relativism, and up and down. You know, up for Australia is down for there is an objective up and down in this natural world.
I'm not sure,
That's
though,
right.
but I think it's philosophical.
There's a
but
geo-relative direction. That's just, and that is only deals in up and down, by the way. So
I don't see how it could be relative on a flat plane.
no, it isn't. But it leaves that out. The geo-relative direction is just basically about up and down, and it leaves out whatever the shape of the Earth may be. And on a flat plane, it will be very consistent and universal. So
How could it, if geo-relative is a very broad term, just meaning the Earth, regardless of shape, but how can it, if we're on a globe, how can it be leaving it out? It's up. It's not the same.
in a globe, geo-relative direction really is relative. Is
Right,
very,
exactly.
very relative, because it's basically in all directions.
Right.
But it's trying to adapt the theoretics, you know? That's not what I'm attempting with my geo direction.
Okay, I guess. Is that your term that you've coined?
Yeah, I had to. I wasn't allowed to use directions because it constantly was being misconstrued for personal direction. Now that's all relative. Well, that obviously was not the thing I was trying to describe. So yeah, I had to be more specific and say, okay, it's Earth-based direction, up and down in relation to the Earth.
I don't know what's
Geo-direction.
wrong with up and down
Yeah, well, they do. So
who does?
Nathan and Riley and Rasta, by the way. So yeah, you have to
Okay.
adapt, you know.
let's discuss up and down.
No,
Somebody just
not
said
with me, please. Right?
Well, in my view, up for me is the same as for people in Australia, the same for people in the UK. There's up and there's down, and it's all the same for everybody.
So let me ask you a question. Could you help me with this in terms of what you see this as? If we've got a helium balloon and and me and you are with the helium balloon, right? But I'm stood on my head. You're stood normally. I'm stood on my head. You let go of the helium balloon. To me, does the helium balloon rise or does it fall?
It rises for both of us. You're just upside down in your head. You're just inverted.
Yeah,
It's
you're
still
ignoring the fact that you are upside down to reach.
But it doesn't rise
your mind
for both
on
of us,
thinking
does it?
what
For
up
me,
and
it would go
down
down.
is. Your accelerometer, it's not your accelerometer, Jesus Christ. You can feel when you're upside down. So, like, you can tell that that's down and that's up based on
You're
your
out of-
senses.
Why does it think it goes down?
Yeah, that's actually a good point. If you're standing upside down or standing on your head, your blood is going to where it's not supposed to be concentrated.
If I'm laying
That's
on
true.
my face on my bed, is my headboard up from me? No, it's to the whatever orientation you could say it's relative to my orientation, but that's my orientation. It's not actually based on the Earth.
Yeah, that's the point. It's a relative term. Depends on your starting point. So if you've got,
Correct.
let's pretend for a second that you're in a hot air balloon and you're rising up, right? So I'll use that term intentionally. So you're going up relative to the ground, and eventually, let's pretend, just for this thought exercise, that you reach a balloon that's full of a gas that's made it neutral buoyant, so it's stationary relative to its environment, and you pass that balloon, right? As you pass it, you would experience a balloon going down, i.e. the balloon that you pass relative to you is going downwards, isn't it? You go past it and there it goes, down it goes, down, 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 down. Well, no, that's just relative to your position. In reality, it's neutral, it's not going anywhere, but you see it as going down as you simultaneously go up relative to your position. Well, no, that's just relative.
Your eye. If you're flying by somebody at 200 miles an hour and somebody's going 12, it looks like that's just a trick of your eyes.
Yeah, it's relative. Direction is relative. It's as simple as that.
That's not a trick of your eyes, though, is it? It's relativity. You're describing relativity, but saying it's a trick of your eyes. It's not. It's relative.
I don't know. I don't see where there's not an objective up and down and left and right. Yeah, obviously my left is your right and vice versa if we're facing. But there's an up. The air is up. The ground is down.
Yeah, but if you're on your head, it's not up and down anymore, is it?
Yes, it is.
It's only not up and down if you can't understand
You have
that
to
you are
stand
upside
up.
down.
You have to stand up. You don't stand down. If you're on your head and
Right.
the blood is getting to your head, what do you have to do? You have to stand up. You don't stand down.
So which way
Tony,
does the helium
Tony, were
balloon
you
go if
dropped
you're
on your head?
Who's dropped on their head?
Tony?
Which way does the helium balloon go to me when I'm on my head?
The
Why
balloon is
are
going
you on
up.
your head? It goes up.
It goes up, right? But I literally see it go down.
You don't?
No, you
You idiot.
I'm on my head.
see the
Why
ground.
you on your head?
You see it
Why are
going
you on
down.
your head, Tony?
I'm just on my head to make the point.
I think you were dropped on your head.
Can I have my donation back?
If you're standing on top of your head, on
Yeah.
top of a balloon that's going up, you're going to feel like you're going up. Your eyes are going to see the earth go down, and you're going up.
Tony, I think you ought to stop because conspiracy cats will pick this up and make a video of you. Please stop.
So Travis, when you said can I have my donation back? Is that because you think that?
No, I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing you.
Well, I'm just trying to establish: is the helium balloon going up for us both, or is it going up for one but down to the other because it's relative?
Up for both. Anybody? Am I the only one? Up for everybody?
No, it goes up for one, down for the other.
I have to say it goes
Tony,
up.
what if I was to suggest it was all a matter of perspective?
Well, that's relativity, isn't it?
No. You're standing on your head on the top of a balloon that's rising up. You're going to be, your body, everything, your senses are going to be telling you you're going up.
All right, so let's consider it the other way. We jump out of a plane, and you go feet first, and I go head first. I'm clearly going down towards the earth, but you're going feet first. Are you still going down?
Yes.
Oh, my, are we serious?
Well, wouldn't the guy that's going head first be going up?
Shouldn't these directions be relative to the surface of the Earth and not ourselves?
Well, it's got to be relative to something, hasn't it? Because otherwise you wouldn't know what the direction would be.
Right, the surface of the Earth.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Travis, never take directions off Tony.
Yeah.
You're telling me that if I throw you out of an airplane head first without a parachute, your mind is going to be, it's okay, I'm going up. Your body, all your senses aren't going to be saying, shit, I'm falling down.
Yeah, but you know that you are ultimately going down, aren't you? But from your perspective, your head is heading towards the ground. Technically you would be going up because your head, your direction of travel will be up to the ground.
Oh my God!
Of course it would.
So how does if an apple falls off a table, how does it have to be oriented to be going up or down, or is it just falling down off the table?
Well, it's always falling down off the table from your perspective, right?
No,
Tony,
stand on your head.
Tony, please tell me you're trolling us.
He's got to be this.
This has got to be a troll.
I don't see how you can argue that a helium balloon is going up for both people when one guy's upside down.
Let's reconstruct it from up and down to away and towards the surface.
That's what.
So then the reference frame becomes the Earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so
which makes it simpler.
The Earth, then it would always be down.
No, it would be towards, not down, up and down. Just throw it away, away and towards. That's all we need. Fuck everything else. Excuse my language.
I'm at a loss.
Yeah, the whole thing is ridiculous, but I tend to want to just move on.
Yeah, Tony, bit of advice.
And less repetitive feel.
Tony, bit of advice. Don't put that in your paper.
No, I won't be putting that in my paper. But what I will be putting in is like how you guys can't prove that we live on a sphere, but everybody believes that we do.
Can't wait to read it.
You haven't donated 25 quid, Alan. You wouldn't be reading it.
You what?
You only get a copy if you help towards it.
How do you know I haven't given you 25 quid?
Well, unless I knew what your name was, then I wouldn't, would I?
You don't know, do you?
No, I don't think that you have, though.
Stop stuttering.
That's a logical fallacy. You can't prove an argument from ignorance, so you can't prove non-existence. So if you're going to claim that by us not being able to prove that you didn't contribute proves that you contributed, that's a logical fallacy. So no, this doesn't prove that this doesn't prove that you contributed.
Well, only I'll know.
Maybe
that's why it would be a logical fallacy.
Actually, there was a guy by the name of Jeff,
and I do know that's why it's a logical fallacy. So we will never know. So it's not proof that you have.
Ooh, listen at Darth Dawkins there.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, Arwin, how's your looping map?
Looping.
I like the idea that you've included my Mobius strip idea.
Sounds just like a sphere, though, doesn't it?
Did somebody say Pac-Man over here?
You know, it's even in our vernacular that there's an objective up and down. You know, if I fly over to London, it's over. So anything west is over. If I drive down to New York, because I live north of New York City, I drive down, which is south. So up and down are objective.
Rick is trying so hard to make Riley understand his point.
Well, let me ask you this then, because I don't know if you guys will be aware, but in England, it's always said that you always go up to the capital, regardless of where you are in the country. So if you go to London, you're always going up, regardless of the actual direction. Nathan, have you ever heard that?
So if you're up in Scotland and you go down,
no.
Yeah, if you're up in Scotland and you head south, still, if you go into London because it's the capital, they still say that you're heading up to the capital, even though you're technically going south.
That's an authority thing. You have to climb the steps to get to the higher, the priesthood. That's why.
Have you not heard of that, Alan?
No, not at all. I'd be going down to London.
I know you would be going down, yeah, but because it's the capital, it's insisted that that's described as going up to the capital because of its perceived state of status elevation compared to the rest of the country?
No, I've never heard it in my life.
Nathan must have heard of that. Nathan, have you heard of it?
64 years and never heard it.
I've got to be honest and say no. Sorry.
Google it. Do you always go up to the capital?
No, I go down to London.
You what?
Although it's not geographically true because we're not going south on a sphere, I would still verbalise it as going down to London.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, you've just said the opposite. You've just said the complete opposite of that. Why are you now agreeing with me saying the opposite of you?
Tony, when you go down to London, are you on your head?
Yeah. All I'm saying is that the proper English is that if you go into the capital, it's always up, apparently.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
just Google it. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, and maybe it's just not used so much.
It's to do with the perception of grandeur being.
Of course, I mean that's why churches and government buildings, for no damn reason, have a set of steps up to them. So you have to climb up to the altar.
I'm getting mad by the dogs.
I'm gonna Google this. Excuse me. Jeez, what the hell? Hold on.
So, in behalf of ESA, how about those 600 nautical miles? That's just what ESA say every time he joins.
Say a little prayer.
They are prayer.
Radius Sanctus, Gravitas Dominus. Amen.
Go in peace, in our you trust.
Hey, Arwin.
Yeah.
It's my birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Sorry? What, say again?
Are you going to sing happy birthday to me? It's my birthday today.
No, we'll get a copyright strike.
64.
Happy birthday to
All right.
you.
Ooh.
How old did you be? How old are you?
64.
To you.
Really?
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
Oh shit.
Happy birthday.
This is both disturbing and sickening at the same time.
That was a bit creepy, Travis, but thank you.
But anyways, you're right about the up-down thing. But it was more train-based and old-fashioned. It was based on trains. All trains to London were up. Anything out of London was down trains. Huh.
Well, I learned yesterday Puerto Rico doesn't exist. Told me CGI Ranty. He said it's CGI. It's been part of my imagination only.
It's all programmed into you when they released you from the island.
You learned it doesn't exist. What is this? What are these not? Is this like to demonize flat? I mean, the whole Australia thing. Now Puerto Rico. Where's this stem from?
Yeah, it was just a joke, and it was emphasized by the media because it is ridiculing flat Earth. It's strawmanning us.
That's pretty pathetic and weak in my view, but all the power to them.
It is the level they want to keep the association with flat Earth on.
Good for them. I hope they enjoy it.
Keep people associating it with that level, so they, as long as they believe that that is really flat Earth, then they're much less inclined to go there. So that's what they're trying to do.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah. I bumped into somebody today. I'm going out for groceries, and I had to talk with him. And I asked, like, eventually, like, hey, what do you think about conspiracies? And he just said, yeah, all kinds of things. He was like pretty neutral, but yeah, anti-vaxxers and flat earthers. No, I'm not buying none of that. So I thought, oh shit. And I went into vaccines because there's a lot more solid leads on that, and I know a lot more actually. It's a lower threshold, and I really got him on that because I really know my stuff when it comes to vaccines. But flat, yeah, it's so typical, you know. You mentioned it, and he was a really smart guy. So it was.
Well, yeah, but you have to understand, as soon as anybody throws out the anti blah 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 prefix, that's a red flag right there.
I know. That's why I didn't go into that, you know. But I do ask it like that. That's how you test it. You just ask, "What do you think about conspiracies?
Yeah,
Do you have any conspiracies you believe in?" Or, you know,
right.
A lot of people do.
Hmm.
You know, all kinds of
aliens is an acceptable one now, though. That's
not everyone.
I think most people. I think you'll find a lot of people that'll ridicule if you say aliens don't exist, because all those planets, those billions.
Well, because you can't really prove it, because they still believe outer space is out there, and as long as they believe that, then yeah, the technical possibility of it remains very possible. That's how they engage that.
They've been told that there's so many planets, and
exactly.
Goldilocks. So then they just. I mean, if you do believe that stuff, then odds would say that there must be intelligent life somewhere other than
here. Exactly. That's exactly how that works. Perfectly described.
I mean, I used to think that way. Of course, I used to think how arrogant it is for human beings to think we're the only intelligent life when I believed that stuff. I mean, just statistics would dictate.
Mm-hmm. And I'd already go further into that and even say that about animals and other life forms. Like, we underestimate the intelligence of other creatures.
Of course, we're the only sentient life or conscious life or soul.
No, we are not. We're definitely not the only conscious life.
Well,
like pigs, for example, are very smart beings.
Dolphins, whales.
They can communicate, and so can cats under certain conditions. And dogs have a superior sense of subconscious communication. It's amazing.
Hang on.
All these skills out there that are just, amazing.
We're talking about animals being conscious. When have you seen any animal contemplate art?
Oh, you do? Oh, yeah.
Gorillas.
Oh, yeah.
Gorillas do.
Dolphins.
Let me respond to
gorillas.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, gorillas too, but even like a dog or any animal, just a sight, a painting can be like really bizarre, and they will have like a response like, what is this? How do I interpret this? Absolutely, animals have responses to
it might be harder for them because most of what we call art is very human based.
Well, they don't understand illusions very well.
Right.
So
Except for some animals that already use camouflage themselves, like chameleons and very colored birds and such. They're used to that.
So you should never go into a career of as a magician for animals.
What?
You said dogs don't understand illusions.
Monkeys react to magic.
No, but you do understand what I mean, right?
No, I think they call that anthropomorphism, don't they? When you project human behavior onto animals. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Oh, really? So don't animals have similar behavior?
Like a lot of them, a lot of similarities.
Yeah, like eating, searching, communicating, social hierarchy.
Especially mammals that nurture their young, unlike reptiles. I mean, nurturing, empathy.
That's just a survival mechanism, though, isn't it?
What? You think that family social behavior is a survival mechanism?
Well,
that is purely instinctual? No, it's not.
It partially is.
Yes, it is.
It can influence your instincts.
No, it's instinct.
Because you have more to lose and all that.
No, it is not. Actually, if you're talking about biology, even like talking about human beings, our one purpose biologically is to reproduce. So we should not actually be family based. We should be basically impregnating as many females as we can if it's just survival. That's totally wrong.
That's if the situations are dire and there's a direct threat that everyone could be killed.
Right.
Yeah, but that is even a response. That's why after
Well, no,
big
what I'm
wars,
saying is that
people
that
suddenly
is
get boomers, like post-war baby boomers.
breeding is the base instinct of every species, but it doesn't all boil down to just that.
Of course not. But it is survival related. Definitely has an influence.
Of course, well, everything is. Waking up in the morning is survival. Everything you freaking do is survival related. It's called living.
Yeah, okay. In an indirect sense, yeah, you're right. Of course.
Is it that we find little subjects that Arwin disagree with to keep it rolling, or is it that Arwin disagrees with everything we say? I don't know.
What? We're not disagreeing.
I'd say he disagrees with pretty much everything.
What? What are we talking about? We're
I
agreeing.
think Arwin and I are agreeing. We're just maybe communicating how we agree. I didn't take it as
We
disagreement.
keep building
That was
on
me,
parallel to each other, basically. But
Yeah.
we're agreeing. Yeah, I think what you're saying is very sensible, and I'm trying to reaffirm that.
Oh,
Hey, Arwin, listen, I gotta say, you annoy me in some ways, but I understand you. For you guys that don't have any Dutch friends, he's very Dutch. You remind me of one of my best
Is it getting
friends.
dodgy?
That's so racist. No,
No, you're very, very typical Dutch in many ways. I mean, take it for
I
what
was
you want.
addressing Jose.
No,
I
no,
said
but what I'm
dodgy.
saying is,
I had to say it.
That's good. That's okay, Jose. I know.
it's neither a compliment or or what do you call it, a criticism. It just
Yeah.
you're just very Dutch. It's all
Well,
good.
I do fall into a category of the type of character that is around a lot in the Netherlands. It's true. It seems to be a typical Dutch
Yeah.
thing.
I get it. I think a lot of people maybe don't have experience with many Dutch people, but like I said, one of my best friends is Dutch. And you remind me of him a lot, just the way you speak and the way you lay out your.
And is his accent as good, or does he have a?
He speaks very, very, very American, very like East Coast New York.
Can I bring this a little bit more to a flat Earth? I got a question for Anthony Riley. Riley,
Yo.
how about those celestial poles, the rotation of the south and north pole rotation? If I heard you saying if evidence is presented to you that three observers at the same time in 3 points on the south on the whatever on the southern hemisphere, I know I'm gonna presuppose I'm gonna say hemisphere. If three observers at the same time show the rotational against the whatever northern hemisphere, what is the argument that you will jump ship, and you will say it will be a sphere because it will not work in a flat Earth? How do you word that?
So, Timmy Osmond says that the celestial sphere is proof that we live in a sphere, regardless of the fact he can't prove it's spherical. But he claims it's spherical because he says for every 69 miles, the North Star Polaris will move down towards the horizon by 1 degree. Well, that would make it a slope. But he claims it's a sphere. If it really was a sphere, when you start moving away from the North Pole, it would move fast initially, and then it would gradually start to slow as it gets towards the horizon because it's supposed to be a curve. But the mere fact that it does 1 degree every 69 miles proves it's flat. But to answer your question, you would need just 2 observers because of South America. Because where South America is in relation to Australia, they're on the opposite side of a sphere. If you get a globe and you look at South America, spin it through 180 degrees, you end up back at Australia. You need 1 observer towards the south of South America, and you need 1 observer in Australia, and they both need to look due south at the same time and witness the same set of stars, just at the same time, just in a different rotation. Now, the claim is that you see 2 southern rotation points, therefore sphere. Well, no, that's not enough evidence to prove that it's spherical. It needs to be 2 rotation points when viewed south at the same time. Not any other direction. If it's a ball, it must be due south. The problem arises with the Australian bloke. Depending on whether he's far east or far west, he's got a declination adjustment. And what that means is when he's got his compass and he lines it up and he finds his north, and then from his north he then finds his south, he ain't going to be seeing that rotation point due south. He's going to see it between 9 and 14, 15 degrees off, depending on whether he's on the east coast, the west coast of Australia, over to the east coast of New Zealand. And the extremity of the east coast on New Zealand is further still. But the point remains that by virtue of that fact, you can't get 2 observers looking south at the same time, because declination for the Australian guy is an issue. Because whether you address declination or not means that it doesn't match up with the sphere Earth claim, because if you address it, then your compass is wrong. You're not lining up with your compass. If you ignore it, then you're not conforming to your Earth model. So either way, the Australian guy proves that the evidence to support sphericalness isn't there, because you either apply declination, which means you ignore your compass, or you ignore declination and then apply your compass, but then ignore your model, because your model has this declination value. So it's that missing evidence that makes it the stars that are not a proof for a sphere Earth, because you can't have 2 observers looking south at the same time, because if you're in Australia, you cannot denote what south is and comply with your model at the same time as complying with your compass. It's a contradiction.
What data can be presented for those 2 observers that are looking to the same set of stars at the same either declination
or you
or
can't, because if whatever data you present, you either don't follow your compass, which tells you where south is, and apply declination, or you follow what your compass says, but then you ignore declination. And declination on the model is a thing. You've got to make an adjustment for it. And my assertion is that the fact that you have to make that adjustment on declination is actually telling you to ignore what your compass tells you for south, because we live on a flat plane and it's not due south. Now, if of course it was a ball, that due south rotation point is the point that we're all supposed to spin round. So regardless of what you do, if you're the Australian guy, you're knackered, because you either apply declination and ignore your compass, or you follow your compass and ignore declination. But either way, you're fucked.
Well, magnetism is on the globe not
forward. For the sake of moving forward, if those 2 observers gather the data and present everything, and everything adds up, that they're looking to the same place and the rotation is there, will that be enough evidence for you to agree that we will be a globe and flatter this bunk?
Well, you have to address the contradiction, because the bloke in Australia has got to either ignore his compass and account for declination, or he ignores his declination requirements because he lives on a ball and then follows his compass. But either way, he contradicts either his model or his compass. And either way, that doesn't conform to living on a sphere. So it goes back to the...
Have you ever tried to model the South Hemisphere with declination yourself on a flat plane?
You can't model a hemisphere on a plane. It's a hemisphere.
Yeah, well, the question that everybody asks is, where exactly is Australia? So it's how far around do you put it? And I would say it's probably a lot closer to New Zealand and, probably a lot closer to Africa than people think. But that's just my own perception. But my point's not to try and say what it is. My point's to point out that you guys think we live on a ball because there's 2 rotation points in the sky. But the guy in Australia can't see that when he looks south. He has to look southeast. That's a problem.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. Also, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you liked it, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!